I'm Joshua Seth. I'm the voice of Tai on Digimon, and some of the little smaller characters, Multiman, and so forth.
Hi, I'm Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I play Sora. I was the original Sora. I'm also on other shows. I've been on Naruto. I'm on the new Boruto. I was Jazz and Danny Phantom. Look it up. But I'm really excited to be back doing Sora. She's one of my favorites. So.
I'm Yong Bosch, and I'm TK. I'm not the original. I think there were a couple others, and so I'm new to the series. It was a lot of fun, but I was Adam in Power Rangers, the Black Ranger. I was Ichigo in Bleach, and a few other things. Yeah.
And I didn't hear that about other shows. Yeah. So actually, we worked together on Akira. You know, I was Tetsuo.
And I was Kaneda.
Right, and I was Cyborg Soldier 9 on Cyborg Soldier 9, and so it's, you know, IMDb says like 75 series, and I don't remember half of them.
We did Wolfstrain together.
We did Wolfstrain, that's right. I was Hige.
And I, Kiba.
Yeah, you bet. That's right. That was a good series, though, right?
Great series.
Yeah.
So going into the series, what were you guys' thoughts on it? Especially since it's been such a long time from the second season going into Digimon Tri, and that gap is only going from middle school to high school. So what were your thoughts going into with the character?
Okay, our thoughts on coming back to Digimon. Well, I mean, for me, it was not only just coming back to the series, it was coming back to voicing animation, because about 10 years ago, I left Hollywood to go on tour and do live shows. So it was, I wanted to be a part of the franchise. I wanted to keep the integrity of the character, and also I wanted to do it for my kids. But I was kind of wondering what it would be like to be back in the booth after all that time. And I tell you, you hear 3 beeps in your ear, in your headphones, before you do the voices. There's beep, 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 and on the 4th invisible beep, you start talking. And it was just like riding a bike. Like as soon as I heard the beep, 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 I snapped in and did it. It was like I'd never left. It was like we've been doing this all along.
I was so surprised, but really excited to come back. I've been working in voiceover since, and Digimon was actually my very first anime series, so it's sort of like she's matured, and so have I in a way, because when I first started, it was like on the job training. I had no idea what I was doing. Like he was talking about the beeps. I'm like, something's happening in my headphones. What is that? So it was a lot of like on the job. I had no idea what I was doing, and now I do, which is great. And so, so it was really great to come back to Sora and start over. It was good.
Well, for me, again, it was very new, and I didn't actually know that these were existing characters. I was sent auditions for all the male characters, including yours, and so
I didn't know I would come back.
I was just auditioning for these characters that I had never heard of because I wasn't familiar with Digimon. You know, obviously I'm older, so I didn't watch it. But then later I found out that these guys were returning, and I was like, oh wait, why am I in this, you know? And so it was a little scary at first for me, because then I'm like, well, now I've got something to live up to. I've got to watch all these other episodes and try to figure out where the voice would be a little bit later. So it was a little scary, you know, but you know, it was a good series. I had fun though. Yeah.
So, question, I guess, a little more specific for you two. So growing up, we saw like the relationship between Tai and Sora. Is there a thing going on? Isn't there? How did you guys go off of that?
Yeah, well, if you're like me, you get fan art. That's sometimes of questionable taste.
What's when they mash it together? What is it? Sai? They call it. I thought it should have been Tora, but I think when they.
Oh yeah.
I think
right,
it's
yeah.
Sai.
Yeah.
Right.
Taiora is the one. Taiora.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Taiora. Sure.
I like Tora.
Right. I mean, we don't write the episodes, so who knows, you know, what's going to happen in the future. They're all going through personal changes and such now that they're a little bit older.
You know, I don't. Like he said, we don't write it, and so it's always, you know, it's a surprise to us too. We don't know. Like it was a big surprise at the end of the last thing that she ended up with Matt. Why, we don't know. But you know, the other thing is we record separately, so, and we don't get the scripts ahead of time, so we're, you know, I don't watch the the subtitles. I don't know if you watch things ahead of time in Japanese, but I don't. And so it's a surprise as soon as we get in the booth. We have no idea what's coming or where it's headed. And, you know, if they ended up together, that's great. If not,
Yeah, you can't watch it ahead of time because then it's going to mess with your head. Yeah, yeah.
So for you, like I know probably you each have your own style for voice acting. So when you guys go into the studio, what helps you prep you to get into the mentality of the specific character?
Well, I think with we're going to be doing a panel later on creativity and such, and I always think the key is to be present and not anticipate. And like you listen to the music, you watch the images, you look at those words, and you let what happens happen without trying to influence it in any way. So my prep is really no prep. It's just to clear my mind, to eat right, be rested, be happy, and be present so that that process can unfold.
For this project specifically, I had to look up some of the original stuff, like watching clips and stuff on YouTube and trying to find them wherever I could so I can figure out who he was and what he sounded like. Which there wasn't a whole lot for me to, it wasn't a lot for this character. Yeah, exactly. So that gave me a bit more freedom. So there wasn't really a whole lot other than just kind of looking up to try to figure out who he is and what's going on and what the series is about and this group of kids was about.
For me, for this one, I just didn't know how much older they were or how much more mature they wanted them to be, how different the sound would be, which is not that much different because they're still technically kids. As far as other things though too, like I don't know what it is for me, a character that I've done before, somehow it just, as soon as I see the image and I start reading the script and I get a couple of little things from the director as far as what's going on, it just kicks in, and I don't know how, it's weird. I don't know how it happens. I do a lot of boy voices too, and I sing as a boy sometimes, and it just somehow just organically happens. Once I'm very visual, so as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so and so from blah blah blah, and it just takes over. Yeah.
I know you guys go into separate sound booths and everything, but you guys just go up to each other and kind of just imitate each other's voices?
I like to do outtakes, like weird reads and things like that, just to kind of have fun with it, but not necessarily the other characters. More like I noticed that a completely different line might fit there, and just say it to surprise the director.
I'm usually just afraid I'm going to be replaced, so I just do my job and then leave.
I don't think I imitate other actors or other things, but when sometimes if somebody's been in before you, because a lot of times it's not that way, and they'll play the Japanese first, and but sometimes if like say Johnny's been in there first and his lines are already in there, I can hear them, and it's funny, depending on what show it is, I'll hear it, I'm like, is that so-and-so? Like, I'll try to figure out who it is, because we all kind of know each other now, and we all travel in the same circles and stuff, so. It's always great, though, when you see people in the lobby, because you get lonely. You're in there all by yourself all the time, and then you're like, wait, you're on the show? That's so cool. You have no idea, because you're in there by yourself, so.
Any scenes specifically you guys did the voices for Digimon Adventures? Is the favorite scene you guys really tried to enjoy including?
For me, in Lost, especially, that was very Sora-centric. I can talk about that now, right? It's been released. So I'm not like, no spoil. That was what was.
Yeah.
Here I go. I think everyone's seen it. Well, or maybe you haven't. I don't know. Here I'm going to say stuff about that movie. Lost is the one. It was kind of an emotional roller coaster for her, because Biyomon didn't. All of the Digimon don't recognize their kid, their partner, and Biyomon, like all the other ones, seemed to just try at least to get to know their person, and Biyomon didn't. And so it was actually kind of great, because it's always nice to stretch your acting chops and sort of bring something more than just action or other things that a lot of the anime is a lot of heightened situations, but this was much more emotional, which was kind of awesome. So that was one that stood out for me.
For me, definitely, it was when I got to do the on camera. Was it Lost? Did you see it in the theaters?
Yeah.
In the theaters where
Oh, yeah, you did a little pre-roll.
Yeah, I did a little pre-roll thing like, hey, Digifans, it's been 20 years and let's go back in the Wayback Machine and see how the whole thing began, and then did all the flashbacks and stuff. So that was the first time in the whole series, you know, that I got it to be on camera and show, you know, like this, but for the movie. Like that was pretty awesome, and it's also amazing to think that we've actually been doing this for that long, that's got legs.
I know for you, you have the scenes where TK didn't exactly want to tell everyone.
Confessions, yeah. Well, that's exactly it. That was my scene. But it was in Confessions, yeah. I had a lot more to do there with Patamon and him changing, him not wanting to say anything. It was a bit more emotional, so yeah, it was definitely more fun to play.
So the last question I just want to ask, especially one of the bigger animes right now, one of the big popular animes right now is My Hero Academia. It's the whole idea.
Is what? Who? Where? Who? What? Hey,
My Hero Academia is one
My
of the
Hero
popular
Academia.
animes right now.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of these heroes coming up, that you got Marvel, DC, All Might, the representation of heroes. So when you kind of think of heroes now, what do you think of? Is there a character you think of specifically? Then you have One Punch Man, who's kind of the parody of superheroes. Do you have guys any thoughts?
Of who is a hero?
And being the heroes of the digital world also.
So you mean in the series or in fantasy or in life?
Whichever you like to cover.
Mueller. He's a hero. Michael Avenatti.
I don't think I did.
I pushed the button.
I didn't mean it. Yeah, don't let me push any buttons. You know, I actually got to play a superhero. I got to be Wasp, which was awesome. It was so much fun. I loved playing a superhero, and she was, you know, she kicked butt, and she named the Avengers, and the kids in Digimon, yeah, they're kind of, you know, the heroes of the thing. So other than that, they're super fun to play, and I love that they're becoming, you know, more into the fabric of society, and like, you know, and there's different, like you said, there's different heroes in all different. I think teachers are heroes. In, you know, they teach our kids and don't get paid, and
And moms.
I'm not quite sure that I understood the question, but I think if it's like who are heroes for me, it would be like Bruce Lee, Three Stooges even. Yeah, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. I grew up on kung fu movies and things like that, and those are the guys that I looked up to.
Cool.
Guys, thank you. We appreciate it.